What if the very place you trust most for rest and recovery is actually making you weaker? What if your sanctuary, your bedroom, is quietly stealing your vitality, one breath, one night at a time? As someone who has spent decades studying both modern wellness and ancient Buddhist teachings, I can tell you this: the room you sleep in is sacred. And if you're over 60, it needs to support your healing, not sabotage it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 everyday items that are secretly harming your health, your sleep, and even your spiritual clarity. I will combine ancient wisdom with real world advice, tell you stories from people just like you, and guide you through gentle, powerful changes that can transform your sleep space into a temple of healing. Let us begin, not just with curiosity, but with deep compassion for the body that carries us and the spirit that longs for peace. Reason number 1: the hidden dangers of old pillows. There's a quiet place in the mountains of Myanmar where I once studied under a 68-year-old monk named Sayadaw Kema. He had a gentle voice and a gaze that seemed to see through the clouds of the mind. One evening, as we prepared for a night of meditation and rest, he shared a piece of wisdom that I never forgot. He said, "The head is the temple's spire. Rest it well." At the time, I smiled and nodded, unsure of the depth behind his words. Years later, I realized he wasn't merely offering a poetic metaphor. He was pointing to a vital truth about our well-being that often goes unnoticed: the importance of where and how we rest our heads. Most people think of their pillows as just a place to lay their heads at night, a soft support that helps them sleep. But have you ever considered what might be growing inside that soft, comforting surface? According to studies published in the journal Allergy and Asthma Proceedings, pillows that are more than 2 years old can become breeding grounds for dust mites, bacteria, mold spores, and even fungal colonies. After just 18 to 24 months of regular use, a pillow may contain up to 30% of its weight in dead skin, dust mite feces, and moisture absorbed from sweat and drool. Every night, we press our faces into this mixture of allergens, unaware of the toll it takes on our health. The health consequences are subtle, but significant. Over time, breathing in these allergens can lead to chronic sinus congestion, frequent sneezing, irritated skin, or even worsened conditions like eczema and asthma. Some people develop sleep disturbances without realizing the cause. They may wake up groggy, with headaches or puffy eyes, attributing it to age or stress, when in fact, the pillow could be silently compromising their rest. In Buddhist practice, we learn that clarity of mind begins with the body. If the body is restless, congested, or inflamed, the mind too becomes cloudy, agitated, and unfocused. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is rooted in the body, kayanapasana. Just as we carefully sweep the meditation hall each morning to remove the dust, we must tend to the spaces we rest in. Sayadaw Kema once likened old pillows to mental obstacles. They are like subtle defilements, he said. You don't see them clearly, but they weigh you down. Old, dirty pillows may seem like a small issue, but they represent a larger truth. Neglect in one part of our lives, however minor, can ripple into others. If we do not practice care in the most intimate aspects of daily living, such as where we lay our heads, how can we expect peace in our minds? The solution, fortunately, is simple and compassionate. Replace your pillow every 18 to 24 months. Opt for pillows made from hypoallergenic materials, natural latex, memory foam with antimicrobial properties, or organic cotton. Use a zippered pillow protector to block allergens and extend your pillow's life. And most importantly, wash your pillowcase weekly, and wash or replace the protector every few months. This act is more than hygiene. It is a form of metta, or loving kindness, directed toward oneself. When you care for your sleep space, you send a message to your body and mind: you are worthy of rest. You deserve clarity. You are not forgotten. That small gesture creates the conditions for deeper sleep, calmer mornings, and a mind more receptive to meditation and insight. In Buddhist tradition, we often bow to the Buddha as a symbol of respect, but respect begins within. Perhaps replacing your old pillow is a modern form of bowing, not to a statue, but to your own sacred life. So tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, is the place where I rest my head helping me rise with peace, or pulling me down with weight I can't even see? The answer may be lying right beneath your head. Reason number 2: clutter under the bed, the weight beneath your mind. Linda, a 72-year-old viewer from Minnesota, once sent us a quiet but profound message. She wrote, I never thought the space under my bed mattered, but after watching your video, I decided to clear it out. There were years of forgotten boxes, old shoes, papers I hadn't seen in decades. I vacuumed, I wiped down the floor, and I left it empty. That night, my dreams changed. They were lighter. I woke up feeling like my mind had more room to breathe. Her story is not unique, but it is powerful. You see, the space beneath our bed is often the most neglected in our home. It's where we tuck away forgotten things, physically and mentally. And while it might seem like a small thing, what we store under our beds can have surprising effects on both our physical health and our spiritual well being. From a scientific perspective, clutter under the bed disrupts airflow, collects dust, and harbors allergens like mold spores and dust mites. For older adults, this can silently impact respiratory health, leading to nasal congestion, coughing at night, or restless sleep. If you've ever woken up more tired than when you went to bed or felt a heaviness in your chest, the environment around your bed, including beneath it, might be contributing. But beyond the physical, there is something subtler happening. In Buddhist philosophy, the external is often a mirror of the internal. When our physical space is filled with unnecessary things, so too is our mental space. Just as we gather old letters, broken items, and forgotten mementos, our minds gather attachments, memories, regrets, and unresolved emotions. The clutter beneath your bed is not just clutter, it is a weight beneath your subconscious. You may not see it every day, but your body sleeps above it. Your mind absorbs the energy it holds. In the Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha teaches mindfulness of breathing as a way to calm the body and purify the mind. But beyond the breath, this teaching is also about releasing attachment to thoughts, to sensations, to identity, and yes, even to objects. Clutter is a form of clinging. It's the mind saying, I might need this, or this reminds me of who I was. But Anapanasati practice gently reminds us that peace comes from letting go. Decluttering then becomes a form of physical meditation, a practice of detachment and renewal. When we clear the space under our bed, we are not just tidying, we are practicing mindfulness. We are bowing to impermanence, to change, and to the possibility of peace. So, what can you do? Start with awareness. Sit on your bed, breathe deeply, ask yourself, what is beneath me? Then take gentle action. Remove everything from under the bed. Yes, everything. Sort what is there. What still serves you? What is just forgotten weight? If you truly need storage, use clean, sealed containers that protect items from dust and mold. Vacuum thoroughly, and if possible, wipe the floor with a lightly scented natural solution like lavender or lemongrass water to refresh the energy. Finally, leave space. Don't rush to fill it again. Let your bed feel light, like it's floating. In Buddhist imagery, the lotus rises from the mud, unstained. Your bed can be like that lotus, resting above the earth, not weighed down by it. You might notice that you sleep more deeply. You may dream differently. Your body may feel lighter in the morning. These are not coincidences. They are signs of inner and outer alignment. The space under your bed may seem small, but it carries the weight of what we cannot see. Just as the mind holds on to old thoughts, our homes hold on to old energy. But by clearing that space, we give ourselves permission to rest, not only our bodies, but also our spirits. So if you're holding on to things beneath you, literally and emotionally, this may be your moment to release. Breathe in, breathe out. Let it go. Let your dreams float gently, like a lotus on still water. Reason number 3, synthetic sense, the illusion of cleanliness. In our modern quest for cleanliness, we have fallen into the trap of equating artificial fragrance with true purity. A lavender-scented candle, a lemon fresh spray, or the soft waft of ocean breeze from a plug-in diffuser might seem harmless, even pleasant. But beneath the surface of these comforting scents lies a reality that is far less wholesome. Synthetic fragrances found in most commercial air fresheners and candles are quietly undermining our health, our energy, and even our inner peace. Most people don't realize that the pleasant smells released by air fresheners and scented candles are the result of a cocktail of chemicals known as volatile organic compounds, VOCs. These compounds include substances like formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates, many of which are classified as respiratory irritants, hormone disruptors, and even carcinogens. When inhaled, VOCs can cause inflammation in the lungs, trigger asthma, contribute to chronic fatigue, and subtly disturb our body's endocrine system. These effects are often invisible and cumulative. You may not feel ill immediately, but over time, prolonged exposure chips away at your vitality. What is most tragic is that many people use these products with the hope of making their homes feel cleaner, fresher, or more welcoming, when in truth, they are often introducing toxins into the very air they breathe. Perhaps the most poignant insight into the power of scent comes from those who work closest to the threshold between life and death. Hospice caregivers have shared striking stories. Patients who rest in rooms filled with synthetic fragrances often appear agitated, unsettled, or even confused. In contrast, those resting in naturally scented rooms, scented by fresh flowers, essential oils, or even simply clean air, experience noticeably calmer final days. Their breathing slows, their anxiety eases, and their transitions are marked by a peaceful stillness. Scent, after all, is deeply linked to memory, emotion, and the nervous system. The wrong fragrance can unconsciously stir restlessness, while the right one can offer comfort akin to a gentle touch. In these final moments, we see most clearly what truly nourishes the human spirit, and it is not the cloying artificiality of fake fragrance, but the honesty of nature. From a Buddhist perspective, scent can be seen as a subtle form of communication, a kind of speech that enters the body through breath rather than ears. Synthetic fragrances, in this light, are like false speech. They delight the senses but deceive the body. They offer the illusion of cleanliness while masking toxicity. Buddhism teaches that right speech must be truthful, timely, and gentle. So too should the air we breathe. Just as harsh or deceitful words can harm the heart, artificial scents can mislead the body, dressing up pollution as purity. In contrast, true cleanliness is silent, invisible, and health giving. It does not need perfume to prove its presence. Truth, like air, should be clean and nourishing, free from disguise, full of life. This subtle teaching encourages us to consider what we are saying through the spaces we create and what kind of reality we are inviting into our lives through the air we choose to breathe. The good news is that we can break free from the illusion of artificial cleanliness. Nature provides us with safer, more wholesome alternatives that cleanse both space and spirit. Essential oil diffusers. High quality essential oils like lavender, eucalyptus, and peppermint offer not only a gentle, natural aroma, but also genuine health benefits. Lavender calms the nervous system. Eucalyptus clears the lungs. Peppermint sharpens the mind and relieves fatigue. These oils support the body rather than burden it. Purifying indoor plants. Adding air cleansing plants like peace lilies, snake plants, or areca palms can remove toxins naturally and add a living energy to your space. These plants do what no candle or spray can. They literally breathe with you, offering oxygen and balance in return. Open windows and sunlight. Sometimes the most powerful purifier is simply fresh air. Open your windows, let light stream in, let your home breathe as you do. The illusion of synthetic cleanliness is deeply rooted in modern culture, but it's not the path to true well being. By replacing artificial scents with natural ones, we not only protect our bodies, but we also align our environments with truth, mindfulness, and life itself. True cleanliness has no scent, just peace. Reason number 4, heavy curtains that block the light within. There is a subtle yet powerful truth about how our environment shapes our inner world, how the very curtains that hang over our windows can symbolize the barriers we build within ourselves. Heavy curtains drawn tightly across the windows of our homes may block more than just sunlight. They can obstruct vitality, clarity, and even joy. What begins as a choice for privacy or aesthetics can slowly become a metaphor for emotional withdrawal, avoidance, and stagnation. From a biological perspective, morning sunlight is vital to our physical and mental health. When we wake up and step into natural light, our bodies begin to produce serotonin, a neurotransmitter that contributes to a sense of well being and emotional stability. Serotonin also plays a key role in the production of melatonin later in the evening, which supports healthy sleep. But when we stay in darkness after waking, our circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs our sleep wake cycle, becomes confused. The body doesn't know whether it's time to rise or return to rest. This can lead to grogginess, mood disturbances, and even symptoms of depression. Over time, The lack of natural morning light can dull our senses and dampen our enthusiasm for life. Something as simple as opening the curtains becomes an essential act of wellness. A widow once told me that for many months after her husband passed, she couldn't bring herself to open the curtains. The house felt safer in the shadows, quieter, more manageable, but the heaviness lingered. She felt trapped in her own home, as if the darkness was swallowing her from the inside out. One morning, on a whim, she opened the drapes, just a little. The sunlight poured in, warming the floor where they had once danced together. She stood there in silence, tears in her eyes, as the light wrapped around her like a familiar embrace. From that day forward, she began every morning by opening the curtains. It became a ritual, not of forgetting her grief, but of honoring it while choosing to keep living. The morning light became a symbol of hope, a silent reminder that even after loss, the world still offers beauty, warmth, and meaning. In Buddhist teachings, light is often a metaphor for wisdom, awareness, and compassion. The morning sun is not just a celestial event, it is a daily invitation to wake up, to ourselves, to our lives, to the truth of impermanence and possibility. Darkness has its role in the dance of existence. Night allows for rest, for introspection, for healing. But to cling to darkness out of fear, grief, or habit is to suffer needlessly. The Dharma teaches us that suffering arises when we resist change or hold tightly to what no longer serves us. Just as the lotus opens to the sun, so too must we be willing to part the curtains and let light touch the places we've kept hidden. Imagine the morning sunlight as the Buddha's smile, gentle, compassionate, ever patient. It does not force its way in. It waits until we are ready to open. And when we do, it brings with it a quiet encouragement to keep going, to grow, to awaken. If heavy curtains are necessary for privacy or insulation, consider switching to light filtering curtains that allow some morning light to pass through. This small shift can create a noticeable difference in mood and energy. Even more importantly, make it a point to open your curtains every morning. Let the room breathe. Let your home greet the day. This single act, so simple, so ordinary, can be transformative. It signals to your mind and heart that life is happening and you are a part of it. Pair this action with a moment of stillness. As you open the curtains, pause, take a deep breath, look outside, witness the changing sky, the movement of trees, the awakening of the world around you. Let that light be not just for your home, but for your spirit. In the end, heavy curtains can symbolize the ways we unintentionally block out life's natural rhythms. But every morning brings a new chance to choose light over shadow, presence over numbness, growth over stagnation. By letting in the light, we do more than brighten a room. We begin to illuminate the spaces within ourselves that are ready to heal, awaken, and embrace a new day. Reason number 5, digital devices in the bedroom, the thieves of stillness. In the quiet hours of the night, your bedroom should be a sanctuary, a sacred space for rest, reflection, and renewal. Yet for many, that sanctuary has been invaded by glowing screens and constant pings. The very devices meant to connect us to the world have become thieves of stillness, robbing us of the deep rest our minds and bodies crave. Warning: blue light suppresses melatonin. Notifications disrupt deep sleep. The mind stays entangled long after the screen goes dark. It is no longer a mystery. Science has spoken clearly. Exposure to the blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and TVs disrupts the body's natural production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating sleep. This disruption makes it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, and enter the deeper, more restorative stages of rest. But it's not just the light that's harmful, it's the mental clutter these devices bring with them. A simple text message can shatter the tranquility of your pre-sleep state. A social media scroll can stir envy, anxiety, or comparison. A news alert can inject fear or worry into the soft space of your dreams. And even after you've turned the screen off, the mental residue lingers. The images, the thoughts, the emotions, they churn quietly beneath the surface, pulling you further from the peaceful sleep you deserve. Mrs. Linda Harmon, a retired teacher in her early 70s, had unknowingly developed a nighttime habit of checking her phone before bed. Emails from former students, updates from family, or just mindless scrolling became her norm. But sleep became more fragmented. She began to feel anxious at night and drowsy during the day. On the advice of a friend, she committed to a 30-day experiment. No phone in the bedroom. At first, she felt a strange emptiness without it, but slowly that emptiness transformed into something else, spaciousness. By the second week, her sleep deepened. By the third, she began recalling dreams in vivid color. One morning, she woke up crying, not out of sadness, but because she felt reconnected to herself in a way she hadn't in years. The dreams were so beautiful, she said. They weren't just images, they were lessons, memories, stories. I realized how much noise I had been sleeping with. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha teaches mindfulness of the body, breath, and mind. Phones fracture all three. From a Buddhist perspective, digital devices in the bedroom do more than disrupt sleep. They fracture presence. The Satipatthana Sutta, a foundational discourse on mindfulness, speaks of being present with the body, the breath, the mind, and the contents of the mind. This presence is the path to liberation, to peace. When we bring our phones into bed, we fracture this path. Instead of being mindful of our breath, we scroll. Instead of feeling the body relax into the mattress, we tense as we respond to messages or consume content. Instead of observing the arising and passing of thoughts, we feed them more fuel. The bedroom, a place that should support awakening through rest and reflection, becomes another realm of distraction. Even the subtle impulse to check a device, did someone text me? Did I miss something important? Keeps the mind from settling. These tiny ripples add up. They create waves of restlessness that can't be calmed by sleep alone. Better habit, leave devices in another room. Use a simple alarm clock, read a spiritual text, or listen to chanting before bed. So, what can we do? The answer lies not in resistance, but in redesigning the rhythm of our nights. Leave your phone outside the bedroom. Buy a simple battery-powered alarm clock. Reclaim the last 30 minutes of your day for something that nourishes your inner world. Read a few pages from a spiritual book that soothes your soul. Reflect on the blessings of the day. Listen to gentle chanting, a guided meditation, or even the quiet hum of silence. Allow your body to unwind naturally. Let your mind settle like a leaf drifting to the bottom of a still pond. These rituals aren't about being rigid, they're about being kind. To give yourself the gift of stillness is an act of deep compassion. In that stillness, healing happens, dreams return, the mind clears, and in the morning you rise not just rested, but whole. The truth is simple. Peace doesn't enter a noisy room. Stillness waits for you in silence. All you need to do is make space for it. Your bedroom is not just where you sleep. It is a sacred space where your body heals, just your mind resets, and your spirit returns to a state of stillness. It's the sanctuary where your soul finds rest after life's noise has quieted. The small, intentional changes we make here aren't just about aesthetics or comfort, they're acts of self respect. They echo into our daily moods, our meditative practice, and our overall well being. Let go of the old pillow that no longer supports you. Clear away the clutter beneath your bed, the dust, the forgotten, the stagnant energy. Breathe only what is fresh and healing. Invite sunlight into your mornings, and gently release the harsh glow of screens before bedtime. These are not chores, they are sacred rituals. They are your silent prayers for better days. They are gifts to the version of you who is aging with grace, awakening with wisdom, and deserving of deep, uninterrupted rest. If these words resonated with you, please share this message with someone you love. Leave a comment below to connect with our mindful community. Like the video if it helped you, and don't forget to subscribe to Buddhist Mindfulness for more gentle wisdom to honor the elder within. May you sleep in peace. May you rise in strength.